and welcome to IGN Anime Club, episode 78. Yay, anime!
Yay, anime!
I'm your host, Maria Sanchez, and joining me is Megan Sullivan.
Hi.
Mike Lamone.
Hey.
And Mitchell Saltzman.
Hello,
Welcome back. As
Hey.
Featured guest again.
Yeah.
So much stuff.
So glad
Once
to be
and
back.
future king.
Yeah. So we have so many things to talk about, so we're going to jump right into our topics. Usually we
Yes.
start with what we're watching, but we're saving that for later because we've got a lot to talk about.
Oh, yeah.
Also a note, we were not on last week. We were on this week. We will be back next week.
Yes.
Are you
we had-
sure?
Yeah, we had a holiday, and it's on the day we record, so we just couldn't reschedule, and it was like, oops.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
Now we're back. Yeah, so it's all good.
Yes,
Back
it
for
is.
the new year, back in 2017.
Yeah.
2017 holds a lot of things, like anime movies.
Yes,
Yes.
a
So
lot of
exciting.
anime movies.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like Sailor Moon and One Piece, and I found out, kind of forgot Yu-Gi-Oh!
Yeah.
I've been waiting for so long. I thought it was like March or something for some reason.
I just forgot. Yeah, me too. I forgot. And then I was like, I do YouTube here. And then on YouTube, there was an ad for it. And I posted on Twitter. I'm like, I have to watch this. And yeah, 27th.
We have a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh! Stuff to talk about next
Oh,
episode.
yes.
There's a special game that we've been playing.
Yeah.
You even got Megan into it?
Yes,
Oh,
and I'm
wow.
terrible at these types of games, but it's really good.
Stay tuned next week.
What could it be?
Okay, bye guys.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, just kind of continue on that. I got to go to the Sailor Moon R premiere because Viz put it on. They had like a red carpet premiere and everything. It was awesome to see such support. Funimation was doing films in theaters for a while now. It's great to see Viz doing a push for that as well, and maybe bringing back like legacy films because the Sailor Moon movies never were in theaters, and they were. The way they were dubbed, they were cut and like edited. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little messy.
Oh yeah. So now Viz is doing us a good favor and bring it back to theaters. So,
Yay.
So excited to
How did
see
you
it.
like it, by the way?
I cried 3 times.
That's not surprising.
No, I mean, it's just like a long Sailor Moon episode, but just a little bit more emotional.
Yeah.
It's definitely not the way it's written. Like, it has great story matter. The thing I love about the Sailor Moon movies is that it takes the opportunity to focus on different characters aside from Usagi. And this one particularly focused on Tuxedo Mask, Komaru, Darien, whatever you want to call him. So many names. And his childhood. So something they don't really touch on a lot until this movie came along. And I highly recommend you go see it in theaters. Everybody, go see anime movies in theaters so we can have more anime movies in theaters. Okay,
And-
that's the best thing.
I just have a quick question. Is this a redub or is this still the original?
That was going to be my question.
It is a redub. Yeah, so it is a redub. So it is the new Sailor Moon voice actors. So if you've been watching the dub now, that's who's doing it right now.
Okay,
Yeah.
very cool.
Also, side question.
Yeah.
Do you need to be in the series at a certain point to understand what happens in the movie?
So this is for Sailor Moon R. So it's like the second season
Okay.
kind of area.
Yeah.
But-
Because I had the issue with One Piece Film Gold.
Or kind
I was
of
like,
at
you
the
have
end.
to be caught up
I
to
mean-
get some references,
Yeah, the thing is, like, you don't really. Since
but
it's
then
just,
not really also, yeah.
It's just the inner essentially, like, you don't really need to be caught up that much. Like,
Yeah.
you're going to be fine.
Yeah, I remember in the 90s, I watched it kind of out of order, and I still enjoyed it. It was still understandable.
Yeah, as long as you know, like, the main crew, you're good. Yeah. Like, it doesn't
Exactly.
really have much of an effect on the actual show. So,
Cool.
it's good to go see. But yeah, we have a clip of the dub
Yeah.
on IGN right now. I'm going to check that out.
Cool.
So, next big thing is actually a big thing. I posted a huge opinion piece on IGN, which I hope you check out, about Amazon's Anime Strike, their new channel. It's like a subscription service. So if you know, Amazon also has like add-ons to Amazon Prime. You can get like Showtime and HBO. And now their first curated channel is anime, which is not great because you pay extra for it.
Yeah.
Nope.
There are some problems.
Yeah, so that, and we also kind of want to touch on Netflix in this little segment, but particularly Anime Strike has some very worrying things about it, particularly because it does not, it's just in the US right now. So any exclusive they get for right now is just for the United States audience, and that always sucks when you don't, Amazon is a global platform. There's like, I think, Amazon Video is in over, or Amazon Prime at least is in over 200 countries and territories.
Yeah, I don't
And-
understand this. It's not like there aren't anime fans in Europe or other parts of Asia
Yeah.
or what is this?
I mean, we get messages all the time from anime fans all over the world saying they want to support the industry, but there's no legal way for them to watch in their territories. And that's like the worst because it's people who want to help and want to support the stuff they love, and it's just really hard. That's the thing about like Crunchyroll and like other services that stream globally, like they usually have a better variety. And when they pick up those licenses, it's easier too. And I'm also just disappointed because Crunchyroll and Funimation kind of came together finally.
Right.
Yeah.
And then Crunchyroll is getting all the new simulcasts, and then it was like all consolidated. I was like, yes, we have like one place for that, and then just one place for the dubs, and it's like really easy. And then Amazon, Netflix are still like scooting in. They're like, hey, I'm like, oh, okay.
It's like an interesting thing where, you know, usually competition is good for the consumer, but too much competition, especially in this case, can kind of be a problem because you have these series that you might have been able to watch on Crunchyroll with just a Crunchyroll subscription, but now you gotta pay the Amazon Prime subscription in addition to the Anime Strike subscription just to watch those shows, right?
That makes me so mad. As a longtime Prime member, I'm like, you're going to make me pay separate for this? Why not make this some sort of package deal?
I'm
Am I
curious.
missing something?
I'm curious if it has to do with the actual license. Like maybe they only signed up for license to stream in America, and other countries might have been an additional fee. Like I don't know the logistics of all that,
Yes,
but like
you're not
there must be a
licensed
reason
records.
why. Because then like why wouldn't they just pack it all in with Prime Video?
So they had Kabaneri.
Yeah, exactly.
They have exclusive
the
to-
baseball one.
and
Battery. Anyway.
Yeah, battery. Oh, that one no one could find.
I like watch the first episode. Like, nah, I'm okay.
Yeah, so like they have had exclusive before, but they just put it in with Prime Video, which is
Right.
fine. But the problem also there was that nobody could find it. It's just that like nobody knew until like later. Like its search has been easier, but it was just like, oh, what are they streaming? What's new? Like what's new for anime?
Yeah, I feel like
specifically?
was the dictionary anime also on?
So yes,
and I could
it
not.
was-
had no idea until it was gone.
it was only in Prime for UK streaming. I forget what it's called, the Great something.
Yeah.
And
That's
then
just
now
weird.
it's available on Anime Strike in the US. So you got to pay for it. So like I said, if you haven't
way
been-
too
Doesn't make any
complicated.
sense.
Yeah.
Ridiculous.
yeah, so Anime Strike is an additional $5 a month on top of your Prime subscription. If you want a whole breakdown of all of the pricings for subscriptions, go to my opinion piece because I made a little chart.
Yeah.
And so, like, when it comes down to it, if you haven't paid for Prime, like, if you don't have a subscription and you add the anime subscription, like, it ends up being the most costly streaming service. Right now, there are good things about this. Like, Anime Strike is building its library. Like, when it started, it only had, like, 65 series and, like, a handful of movies, like 7 or 8. And they are adding weekly. They said they would, and they have. They're getting... I think maybe the coolest thing is that they have a lot of movies that they don't have
That's
on other
cool.
services.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But
I mean, it's
otherwise-
cool that they're getting some. Oh, I don't know if it's rarer stuff, but they're getting a larger variety of stuff. But the fact that there's just this weird paywall that kind of cuts people off.
So
Yeah.
yeah, like the more walls people have to get the anime, like the more likely people are going to pirate it.
Yeah.
Like that's just
They're
the
just gonna
unfortunate
get
thing.
something and knock down those walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just not pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if they can lock down the licenses for the anime are out of print, like Evangelion you mentioned and Berserk, oh my god.
Yeah. So
I might just
Yeah, if you can bring back the original '90s Evangelion, I can finally watch it.
Yeah.
So one of the cool benefits definitely is that Amazon is a huge company.
Yeah.
Got a lot.
They got the
deep
money.
pockets. Yeah. So like, what if they start bringing back like old series? Like on their description for Anime Strike, it talks about like anime classics and stuff. And it's just like, but what about the ones that we don't have licensed, or that their license are just like missing? Like I don't
Right.
know what's going on with the Evangelion license. We know that Funimation has the Rebuild series, but not the core anime series that aired before it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd be cool if they did pick up older shows like that, and like the original Berserk.
or Hajime
Yeah.
no Ippo.
Yeah, that's another one I keep trying to find the first season. I'm like, nope.
Please, Amazon, if you're listening and a fan of anime.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I feel like they have to do that. You know, there's already Crunchyroll and Funimation that are doing the simulcast thing. Like they have to find a way to stand out and be different than Crunchyroll and Funimation. So I think that would be a good thing if Anime Strike became the legacy anime thing, like streaming service. Then okay, still think that they need to have it separate from Prime and not. Force a
Right.
person to pay like $100 a year for Prime, is it?
It's
At least,
99 for
yeah,
a year.
yeah.
Yeah.
That's flat. And then
Yeah.
if you pay monthly, it's different. Then you can also subscribe to Amazon Prime Video separate from Prime. And that's also pretty expensive. It's all just very expensive. And I think if they somehow offer just a subscription to Anime Strike, like if I did not have to subscribe
Yes.
to Amazon
Yeah.
Prime
Yeah.
to get to it, I would like hands down do it in a heartbeat. but because I don't already have Prime and I don't need to pay for it because I use like if I absolutely have to use it, I just like use my parents' account. But I don't order enough from Amazon to justify that. That being said, I get why maybe they're putting it behind their Prime subscription. They're figuring, hey, a lot of people already have it. What's $5 extra? You know, but that doesn't help fans who don't, which is I think probably I can't say as a lot of people because I don't know. But for people who don't, it's like, oh.
And probably anime fans already subscribe to Funimation and Crunchyroll.
I was just going to say,
And, like,
what's
and Hulu.
what's $5 extra added on to your Crunchyroll subscription, your Funimation subscription,
Netflix.
your Hulu subscription? It adds up, guys.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah.
It is not cheap to be an anime fan.
No.
It really isn't.
But it's gotten a lot cheaper than it used to be.
Yes, I was just going to say, as the oldest person in this room, you don't want to know what I've paid to get, VHS tapes of rare anime over here. You don't want to know.
Yeah.
So maybe someday, I know Netflix doesn't do like watch with ads, but like if Amazon were to offer that, that'd be really appealing too.
Sure.
I just really hope Amazon changes its stuff up a little bit or figures something out.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see what the numbers are, and then Amazon will quickly change if it's not good.
Or I hope they just pick up the bad exclusives.
Yeah.
Which is not going to happen because they have a deal for an exclusive block of anime. Generally, it has some really good stuff.
Noitama, right?
Yeah. Just like,
Or
why?
Oh, man.
That's how they got Kabaneri and stuff. But, we'll see what happens, I guess.
Yep.
Now, the other side of the coin, Netflix. Because this does not end. So, Netflix picked up Little Witch Academia.
Yep.
Which breaks my heart. Because that means we're not going to get it till, like, the end of the season. And so we know Netflix is, like, really big on binge. Like, that's their thing. That is their angle, and I totally get it. But it does not work for hardcore anime fans. Because people are like, oh, well, you're just being babies for, not wanting to wait. It's like, well, for a lot of people who, like, say for us who want to cover it, no longer can because it's not simulcasting. And then the people who don't want to wait, the fans that don't want to wait, will just go pirate it. And so it's, like, leading to more piracy, which is the biggest thing here that is, most worrisome is because we don't want people doing that.
No, we absolutely don't. So
For a second, I was combing through Netflix, and I saw Little Witch Academia. I'm like, oh my god! And then no, it's the older version.
The two of these.
Yeah.
So those are great, but I'm just sad because I'm like I can't talk about it.
Yeah.
But thankfully they haven't been picking up that many anime exclusives, and kind of a benefit with them and Amazon getting into anime is that they can help produce anime that's original, and so like maybe series that anime studios in Japan wouldn't have been able to make without their funding. Now they can. Like, that's awesome.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's true. I'm curious, for those that do use Netflix for anime, do you guys typically keep up with the newer stuff, or just like you go back or you see a series that was like a couple years ago? And
So I actually was able to watch Robotech, which I'd always heard about but never seen.
Yeah.
Don't get mad at me, Macross fans. I'm not the one
It's okay,
responsible
me
for the
too.
licensing issues.
Me too.
But it's actually kind of cool to go back and watch some classics, which is a lot of what I've been doing lately. Is just going back and taking things off my bucket list. And I got to see Robotech that way. And it's actually kind of cool. It just popped up on Netflix, which I'm always on anyway. So, I mean, it can be convenient for backlog stuff, but I totally agree with Miranda where it's like, this stuff is out there in Japan. You're going to want to see it. You're going to want to bootleg this stuff because you don't want to wait to binge it.
Yeah, I mean, that's just, like, the climate of the culture right now is simulcast. Like, and then if you hold a show that should be simulcasted or just anything new, then people are going to get it otherwise.
Yeah, it's not like you're watching, Daredevil is airing in Japan and then airs everywhere else. It's like it drops altogether, and that's one thing. But this is a totally different thing where it's regional, and that's dicey.
Yeah, I agree. When I was watching season 2 of Kuromukuro, like I had to wait for that. And when it finally showed up, I wasn't as inclined to watch it anymore because it was also we were talking about the new season when Kuromukuro was technically last season. So I just like, I don't need to watch this. But then I have been watching Durarara and like just a bunch of shows. Like Blue Exorcist, I used Netflix to catch up for
sure.
Kyoto Saga. Yeah.
Like they have the download option now for Netflix, which is awesome.
That is so
cool. And I
cool.
think Amazon does too, but it's a little bit more hidden in how you can do it.
Of course it is.
It's I had like
Amazon's
a
a
guide
mess.
on it.
Amazon.
But yeah, Netflix, like you can download certain anime, and I have it on like my phone for my commute and stuff, and it is the best because I can catch up on stuff that I wouldn't have been able to otherwise. So it has benefits. But.
Exactly. So I'm curious if maybe they should just change their strategy because they do that. I mean, I appreciate that they're grabbing those exclusives, but like, if they're gonna hold it anyway, they might as well like kind of what we talked about with Amazon. Just go for the legacy stuff and go for like get that. Someone get Evangelion and Berserk and Hajime no Ippo. That's all I'm asking. just fight for
Somebody
it.
please, Mike needs it.
Amazon, Netflix, anybody.
I'm gonna get Higurashi too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Give me that
too.
Higurashi.
Higurashi
Yeah.
is on
Is it?
Anime Strike, and it's also, I think, streaming on Hulu.
Oh, get
And
it off of
it's
Strike.
Hulu.
Get off Hulu.
Oh, it's on Hulu?
I'm pretty sure it's on Hulu.
I'll have to double check.
I think I saw it on there. 'Cause
Okay.
I was pretty sure
I think
I
it
started
might have
watching
been taken off like within the last couple of
it.
months. 'cause
Hulu has a great library, and they have
Yeah.
But
things
they
that you
brought it
can't
down,
get
though.
anywhere else. They still have a ton of stuff.
Oh, do they?
They still have a lot, and they still
Okay.
do some simulcasts.
Okay, that's good.
But it's like late.
Of
It's weird
course.
because they don't start with everybody else, but they do have.
Yeah.
Like a
anime.
week later or something. Okay.
Yeah, it's like the secret gem. If you have everything, but you don't subscribe to like a direct like anime service, and Hulu actually has a lot.
Yeah, no. I used to use Hulu a lot until they hit that. They made everyone pay for their service. I'm like,
Yeah,
okay.
I did
Peace.
too. I was like, no.
poor
I
guy.
was with you until you're like money,
Yeah.
and I'm like, nope.
It's like, okay.
It's only $5 a month, guys.
Yeah.
Or how much is Hulu at this point?
Ah,
It's $7.
$8. I don't know.
yeah.
Not
I'm
important.
not paying it, so it don't matter. Anyway.
That's why you make your twin sister pay for it. And
Oh.
you provide the HBO Go account, and then someone else provides a Netflix account.
Exactly.
Dude, that's so nice. My older sister would laugh me off the face of the earth. Oh, you want me to pay for your anime? Blah.
I know. It can be like, I can give you Crunchyroll.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
So let us know what you guys' thoughts are on it. Are you guys gonna subscribe to Anime Strike? What are you guys doing for it? I heard a big method for people is like you do like a month trial or the week trial, binge
Oh.
everything you want to watch, and then cancel, which is
Yeah.
lame, but I mean
Yeah.
it's a way to do it
I
legally.
do tweet
true.
out those Crunchyroll codes. So if you're really into binging and you want 2 days of just free anime,
Oh, man, 2 days.
go for it.
Also, I'm not too sure if this code still works or this URL, but if you go to crunchyroll.com/IGN, I think you can get a 30-day trial.
Oh, cool.
Even better.
I think.
Hopefully it
We
works.
had it set up a long time ago. But yeah,
It doesn't hurt to try.
just do
Yeah,
what you
right.
guys can to support the industry.
Yeah, definitely.
If we do it, then we can get more anime.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's very good.
Yay, anime.
Yay. Nice.
Cool.
Segue.
Now that we're done being, I don't know,
Ranting.
not necessarily pessimistic. It's just like,
Yeah,
dang it.
I know.
I guess things get complicated.
good and
Let's
bad.
get into what we're watching this season. What have you guys been up to? There's so much. We haven't got to do
Oh
a
my
whole
God.
season episode yet.
Yeah, I'm not even going
I
to talk about
know.
all of my
I
stuff
know, we can't
because
even.
I'm not going to have
So next time. Yeah.
time. Mitch, since you're our guest, why don't you...
Yeah, Mitch.
Okay.
Start off.
So I do this every season. I just kind of do the shotgun approach where I kind of watch one episode of everything, and then I try to whittle it down to like 4 shows that I keep up with. So the first thing I would talk about would be Fuuka, which is, interestingly enough, I didn't know this when I started watching the episode, but is actually a sequel to an old anime called Suzuka. And Suzuka was a pretty solid romance show, which with a really irritating main character who was very mean to the protagonist for the majority of the show.
Yep.
And it's funny because man, this show got off on the wrong foot with me. Mike,
Oh, the first episode? Yeah, no, well...
Are we gonna get to it? All right, so
You go first, you go
first.
I'm just going to
Yeah,
explain it.
please,
So the first episode begins. The main character is walking along the street, just looking at his phone, literally just tweeting.
Yeah.
He's actually tweeting. And all of a sudden, this girl comes running. She's like, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" She jumps over, tackles him, and knocks him on the ground. He gets up and he's like, "Oh, are you okay? I'm so sorry." Or he doesn't say I'm sorry, but he's like, "Are you okay?" She gets up. She's like, "Oh man, I told you to move." It gets better. She sees him with her phone out, with his phone out. So he's like, "You're taking pictures of me." And so she goes over to him, grabs his phone, throws it on the ground, and it gets better. And then she slaps him across the face.
I mean,
And
Because
just
that's
walks
what
away.
you do when you slam full on into someone.
And
You
I'm just like,
slap
Yeah,
them.
right?
What world am I living in that this is okay? But yeah, so I basically was like, if she's gonna be like this the whole anime, I'm not
so
part of this.
there are a billion other shows where that
Happens.
attitude is appropriate. But
True.
maybe for once it wasn't, and it sounds
Yeah.
like that would be really
Yeah,
annoying.
yeah, totally.
But ultimately she thankfully, she gets much better throughout the episode, and I think she's, a fun, likable character for the remainder of like the 3 episodes that I've seen. So I'm actually really liking Fuuka.
Yeah, no, yeah. I watched all 4 last night, and I was doing the same thing, kind of shotgun approach. And I didn't know I knew it was about music.
I forgot.
And the opening is great, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh my god. But yeah, it's kind of like you can sort of like guess what's going to happen next. It's very like generic romantic comedy type thing, and I have a feeling like just like a typical.
Yeah, typical love triangle story. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Childhood friend is like one of them. And
like it reminded me of like a lot of Korean dramas I used to watch during my K-pop phase. Anyway, so yeah, I'm kind of like suspecting like where it's gonna end, but at the same time I'm enjoying it, and the whole music aspect of it I'm really interested in. And yeah, I watched all 4 last night, so that's a good, Yeah.
And I was just gonna say, like, going through like the manga author's like resume. Suzuka was a pretty basic story, but it had very good drama elements to it.
Yeah.
And I have a feeling this is probably gonna go down the same path. So like I'm willing to keep up with it, even though it's not like blowing my mind or anything, just because I know that this author is capable of doing some really good drama.
So when you say a sequel, is it an actual sequel or like a spiritual successor?
So when I say it's a sequel, I mean the characters from Suzuka are the mother and father of Fuuka.
Oh, how cute.
I just spoiled Suzuka for you.
Surprise!
They get together.
And they have a kid.
Finally.
Oh, that's interesting considering what happens in the next few episodes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, that's funny.
So yeah, so that's Fuuka.
Yep.
And then I'm also watching Konosuba season 2, which I saw a lot of people talking about the animation.
That's what I've seen from it so far. It's just comments on the quality.
Yeah,
What do you think?
Good or bad? If I
So-
ask. Oh, I see. All right then.
the first episode was rough. The first episode was really rough.
That's-
There's an element of it that I think they're going for a kind of a super deformed style on a lot of the comedy parts. Yeah.
I was
Yeah.
thinking of like a screenshot someone posted in the group. I was like, oh.
Oh yeah, the comparison one. Yeah.
I think episode 2 gets much better. There's a lot more normal looking art in episode 2. But
That means they were going for body horror and decided that wasn't the angle.
this isn't what we want to do. But yeah, the art has never been the strong point of Konosuba. Like it's a Studio Dean anime. Studio Dean has never been known for their animation prowess, and I think what Konosuba has going for it is that it's really funny, and it's really clever too. In parts. So I'm still really enjoying Konosuba. I thought season 2 is getting off to a good start, and I'm looking forward to keeping up with it.
Same here.
Cool.
And then I've an anime that I think we're all probably going to talk about, Interviews with Monster Girls.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
Yep.
mostly, yeah. I love the first 2 episodes, and the 3rd episode, I was just like, low-hanging fruit, but okay. But I appreciate what you're trying to say. But I'm also worried this is going to become too much of a harem show.
Which is the 3rd episode, the one with the succubus?
With the succubus, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
I've not seen that yet.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
No spoilers, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm listening to
I'm-
the first 2 episodes. So.
I'm
I had the feeling
really hoping, and I feel like the anime hasn't given me any reason to think otherwise, but I'm really hoping that the romance in that anime stays between the teachers.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Yes.
So,
We're all on the same page here.
yeah.
Good.
If you guys don't know what Interviews with Monster Girls is, then I don't know how, because I think it's like one of the more popular ones.
Yeah.
But just to give you a quick overview, a teacher is really interested in studying monster girls, demi-humans. They exist in the world. There's very few of them. There's vampires, duergons, succubus, ice
snow
people.
girls.
Ladies, yeah.
Yeah, vampire.
Yeah, vampire. So they just exist, and he wants to write a paper on them. And lo and behold, a bunch of monster girls suddenly join a school. So he gets the opportunity to talk with them, first with the vampire, then the duergon, and then now the succubus. And so far, it's been really cute, and I think it has some great commentary on disabilities and minorities and marginalized people. But also, like we said, it's a little worrisome about, like, it might get a little too harem-y. So it's a teacher and then students and then another teacher, which is cool.
Yeah.
But
Not if we're picking up underage.
yeah, so
I don't think it's going to go down that road.
I
though.
hope
the
not.
girls having a crush on their teacher is not a bad thing.
Yeah,
Right.
not at
That
all.
is totally
That
understandable.
happens.
I had a crush on he was super hot. I got great muscles. But like nothing happens. Like you're just like, oh wow, so admirable. That's fine. And you can see they're kind of do in a weird way, like a prince thing, because like the one guy who like takes care of them and is like genuinely interested in their lives and their challenges. And I guess that's pretty impressionable for younger women and stuff.
Yeah.
But
I think episode 2 was an ideal episode for that.
yeah,
Like,
I love that.
It was
one.
a sweet episode. But at the same time, like, she's trying. No, don't. You're gonna get hurt. don't do it.
Don't do it.
It was a great episode.
Yeah, but it was a good
episode
episode.
3 isn't as good. I think the succubus approach is a little maybe easier, just because like the succubus challenge is that she's a succubus,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and you know what that means.
Dresses
Yeah.
very
Sexual things,
conservatively.
like,
She wears
yeah.
glasses. She's very much like, don't get in my personal
Yeah.
space because I don't want that stereotype.
So yeah, her issues are a little simple, and I hope they kind of delve more into complex things with her. But otherwise, the show is very interesting, and
Yeah.
I'm enjoying it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Same
me
here.
too. I think it takes a lot of these characters or a lot of these like monsters that we're so used to seeing in other anime as like a particular role. Like the vampire is usually like a sexy kind of character, or and it provides a different context. So now the vampire is this little schoolgirl, and
It's their goofball daughter.
Oh yeah.
It's everyone's daughter.
and it's vampires are normalized in society, and you get to hear very candid thoughts of like, oh, that's what you thought about me. Oh, actually, a stake through my heart probably would kill me.
Kill you too. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
it would kill anybody.
Yeah. I'm going to break away a little bit from the group, though. I'm struggling to like it as much as everyone else, and it might just be at this point that I'm so far removed from high school that it's like I do appreciate the fact that they talk about discrimination and being a minority, and I think it's like a cute, interesting way of dealing with it. But I'll be honest, I was really bored, especially in the first episode. The second episode got better
Yes.
once the dual hand got involved,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
I'm still struggling to like it as much, and I think maybe it's just I'm so far removed from high school now
There-
that it's not.
Are so many high school anime.
That too, yeah.
It
So,
is.
yeah.
And the older you get, the less you're inclined to be like, oh yeah, it totally hits home. Where you're like, I vaguely remember this, but
Yeah. Also, the teacher, the protagonist, I assume, is not really the most interesting guy.
Yeah,
I
that
love him.
could also be a huge problem. Is he's a little bit predictable so far in his behavior, but that could just be me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep
He
watching.
just seems
but-
indifferent.
I think it's just because they're focusing so much on the girls as
Yeah,
opposed
yeah.
to him.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's why
Mhm.
probably he's not as fleshed out, but maybe he'll get some more time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We know
Hopefully.
there's only 4 monster girls, at least in the opening, that are important.
Yeah, I was-
So then maybe he'll get some more time after.
Okay.
Yep. But we'll see.
Yep.
Yeah. So anything else, Mitchell?
I think I got one
I mean, so I'm watching Rewrite season 2, which is just if you didn't watch Rewrite season 1,
Don't watch it.
you will be completely lost. And even if you did watch Rewrite season 1, you will probably still be completely lost. It is a show that does not make a ton of sense, but
Well, so it looks really interesting. So for those that don't know, what's Rewrite about?
So Rewrite is if you're familiar with Key, the game developer, they made Canon, they made Clanad, they made Air, and Rewrite.
Lots of visual novels.
Yeah, lots of visual novels, and Rewrite is the latest adaptation of one of those visual novels.
Okay.
And I feel like with all visual novel adaptations, it's very difficult because you're condensing a lot into a very small anime run.
Mhm.
And so it's basically about... God, how do I even explain it without going into spoilers? It's about
It's another
this kid...
re-show.
It's about this kid named Kotaro who has a special ability to rewrite his physical limitations. So if he needs to run faster, he'll rewrite his leg muscles to run. And he becomes part of a club called the Occult Research Club, where a bunch of basically they're trying to find supernatural things in the world.
Okay.
And wouldn't you know it, basically everyone in the occult club has supernatural abilities.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and so it's an interesting thing in like the way that Clanad was, where you spend several episodes learning about like one of those characters, and all of a sudden it turns into this weird save the world kind of thing of like like environmental protectionists versus people that are wasting the environment. It's very strange. Once again, it's very hard to explain.
Okay, got it.
It's solid. I don't know. I feel like if you played the game, you probably will have some issues with it. As someone who hasn't, it's okay.
Yeah, I watched a few episodes of the first season. It was just not super into it.
Yeah.
Just like,
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
hey, cool. Stuck until season 2.
Yeah.
There you
Fun
go.
stuff.
I'm a key loyalist, so I gotta stick through it.
Okay, Mike, you've got a lot. We'll just let you go.
Okay, sounds good. So, the one that I was looking forward to the most, Blue Exorcist, Kyoto Saga. So what's interesting is that, and I didn't know this going into this season, was that the last maybe fourth or third of the original Blue Exorcist is not canon, like episodes 18 to 25.
Okay, so did you confirm it?
Yes, I did.
Because we were talking about this at lunch, because
Yeah.
I've been watching Blue Exorcist, and I'm on episode like 11 or so.
Yeah.
And I really want to start Kyoto Saga. And so now, if you're like me, trying to catch up, don't have to watch all of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So which is cool. Well, I mean, I didn't mind that last part, so I was a little disappointed, but but I can see why now. But yeah, pretty much up until 1617, Kyoto Saga is where this continues right after that. Yeah, so far I can't talk about it because this is gonna be spoilers. But so far, I like it, and it's kind of diving more deep into the characters than it did in the original one. If you don't know, he's Okumura, I think his name. Yeah, I mean he has a brother who is also that's with him as well, and he meets students, and they all have this kind of like it's. Anyway, there's powers, and it's kind of like Soul Eater. That's all I'm gonna say. And then pretty much the characters that he does meet in that school, they're developing those characters more in Kyoto Saga. There's actually a new antagonist that wasn't introduced in the first season, and I believe that's canon. So that storyline now it's good. I like it. I like it a lot. It was more of a interesting antagonist than the one in the first one was. It was kind of like a weird thing where you've seen it, so like it's kind of like, we're using him to fight Satan because we're not strong enough, but it's kind of a different take on this arc. So Kyoto Saga, like it so far. Anyone else watching, by the way? No,
I gotta catch up.
not yet. Yeah, so you,
I'm getting
okay,
there.
get there. And we'll talk about it. And next up, ACCA 13 Territory Inspection Department. It's a horrible name.
curious about
I
this
cannot wait
one.
to watch this one.
So this one's interesting.
Yeah.
It's about the organization ACCA, and what it is that they are an organization. So right now they're in peace, and it's because there was 13 territories, and there was a war that was happening, essentially, and they do exposition like the second episode or whatnot, and essentially this organization now keeps the peace, and they have an office in each of the territories, and it's about this guy named Gene, and he's kind of a weird protagonist. He's quiet. He's kind of just like not very social, but he's very smart and very intuitive, and he's as an officer, he's a second in command of the central office, and his job is to make sure that the other offices stay in line. So there's like a whole hierarchy thing going on in this anime that you might have to get used to, because right now I'm still confused, like who's who and why these guys are telling these guys to do something. Anyway, but so far, it's kind of slow right now for me.
Yeah.
Probably because there's so much exposition.
That's what it seems like. It's just like a slower drama.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. There's like no powers or anything so far that I know of. And I was hoping to be like, I love the art style. That's why I was interested in it. And I think, forgetting the studio name. Starts with an M. Madhouse? I think Madhouse did this one. Anyway, so that's another reason why I wanted to watch it. But yeah, it looked like there's gonna be like conspiracy and intrigue going on in this anime. Haven't a clue of where that might start or begin yet, which is fine. But I'm liking it so far. I kind of wish that something happened soon, is what I'm saying. So ACCA 13. The next one, Saga of Tanya the Evil.
that's also another one I want to watch, just because Miles said that the second episode's real good.
Okay,
That's
so
like-
that's why. So when you told us that, we were talking about this during lunch, because me and Mitch agreed. The first episode was like, oh god, I don't know, this is weird. I don't like it. It was real bad. It was so bad that I was like, I'm done with this. But then I watched episode 2, and they explain why she is how she is, and kind of like her goal. And I don't want to talk about it too much because you guys might want to.
I'm gonna watch.
Find out for yourself.
Watch it.
So anyway, but yeah, like it totally makes sense now, and now I kind of see I want to see where she goes from here. So, but yeah, it's like, no, yeah, I won't talk about it. Yeah, I was about to say something, but anyway, yeah, Saga of Tanya the Evil. It's like it takes place in like what the 19. It takes place during a war, kind of
World
like
War One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of those wars.
What?
One of those two.
I'm pretty sure it's World War One.
Yeah, I don't think it's that. Anyway, yeah. Well,
They mentioned the Treaty of Worms, so I'm pretty sure.
Okay, but yes, you'll find out. Cool. All right, now, and I think that's it. Yeah, no, that's it. Because we talked about interviews with the Monster Girls, Konosuba, and I have other ones, but I'm not gonna talk about that now because I'll be talking about it for the next half an hour. So I'll say that for next week.
Yeah, and then maybe we can catch up a little bit too and watch some with you.
Yeah, so like Akiba's Strip, for instance, and the 2 cycling anime, which is, I don't know why there's 2 of them. Yeah. So I'll talk about that next time.
Yowamushi already has its claim. It's been around.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No,
so
yeah.
it's
yeah.
good to go. Anyway,
Yes.
Megan, you want to go?
Okay, I have to apologize because I've been head down in my Tales of Berseria review, so I'm way
which is
behind everybody.
Technically anime, so.
Yes, it is technically anime. In fact, Velvet Crow does make an appearance in Zestiria, and if you're a Zestiria fan, you'll know the name Aizen. That's all I'm going to say. So
Bleach?
that's
No.
sort of anime related. Yeah, Bleach.
Oh yeah, Bleach. Bringing back some memories.
Yeah.
Hear the music in my head.
God.
So, and also my boss found out that I watched Robotech on Netflix and started handing over his Patlabor collector's edition movies. So I got
That's
to watch
sick.
Patlabor 1 and 2, which I was so surprised because these aren't really mech anime, they're crime dramas with mechs
With
sort
mechs.
of used sparingly, but in a very
Right.
effective way. And they're actually directed by, Megan, what's his bucket? He did Ghost in the Shell. You know who I'm talking about. That
Oh,
awesome
God.
dude. Yes.
I'm bad with names.
I
sorry.
will look it up in a second. I am so sorry, guys. I'm tired and I'm blanking. But excellent art
That's why
direction.
we take notes because we always forget.
Yes,
Yeah,
I know.
no,
I was like, there's
Yeah.
so
Anyway,
much.
but
But
yeah.
anyways, but I did manage to watch interviews with Monster Girls and the first episode of Showa Genroku, which is the show about traditional comedic storytelling out of Japan. I really liked the first season. The second season stars Who's-Its, who is the apprentice to What's-Its. I'm really tired, you guys, and I forgot to take notes.
Okay, for a second, I was like, is that their actual names?
Was this written by Abbott and Costello?
Who's on first? But I'm enjoying it. It's funny that Konosuba is having some animation problems because the strong point of Showa has always been the art direction and animation quality, which is always beautiful. So if you love your visuals, this is a good one to check out. And if you, it's a lot slower than a lot of other anime. You do have to pay attention.
Yeah.
But if you're like me
Lots
and you
talking.
love, lots of talking, which is entirely the point. But I know a lot of people dropped it the first season because it was a little slow for them. But I'm
Yep, that's me.
weird and I love history stuff and I love these stories. So if you like the first season, so far I'm pleased with the second.
No, I tried to binge it before this season came out. I was like, oh.
That's not one to binge.
Totally failed.
That's not how to do that one.
One at a time.
Yeah.
It wasn't hard.
So if you hadn't finished the first one, would you say that you could go into the second season or no?
No, it wouldn't be as effective because the first season was all about sort of a love triangle that will probably play out a little bit more in the second season, or the fallout from that is kind of connected to the first season. I would watch the first season.
It probably will tie in at some point. That
Yeah,
makes
it will. It's not for now. It's kind of on its own, but there's tons of references you have to know in order to appreciate it.
Right.
So
Cool.
Cool. So I'm watching one that I'm surprised nobody else has mentioned yet. Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, which I love. It's my favorite
Yeah?
so far.
it's
Whoa.
like you.
Yes. Okay. So if you don't know anything about it, it's about Miss Kobayashi, and a dragon shows up and wants to be her maid.
So is it
As-
like an
as perfectly
actual
normal.
dragon or like a
Yes,
dragon half
a
human?
full-on dragon
Oh, okay.
transforms into a person.
Ah.
And it's like, I'm gonna be your maid. And so the first episode's kind of how that happened. If you don't care, I'm just gonna tell you what happened. So Miss Kobayashi gets real drunk and helps the dragon out. I'm not gonna say how because you can see that part. I'll skip the details.
Okay. All right.
And then she shows up the next day saying, "Hey, I'm be your maid. She's like, what? And because like Miss Kobayashi was like super drunk, and she's just like really funny. And basically, it's just like, what if it's like a half human, half dragon family just come together and play house, and like that's pretty much what it is. And
Interesting.
the dragon, Toru is like super in love with Kobayashi, and it's so cute, and it's really genuine how much he just loves her and cares about her, even though
Aww.
it's adorable.
Is
how
it
she
kind
just
of
wants to do good
is it
for
kind
her.
of like similar in terms of just like, you know, the relationships? There was that Shonen Maid? No. There was that one Maid show we watched like a season.
Yeah,
back.
but that no.
No,
Wait,
that's
what
That
we
was
talking
a different
This
thing.
one-
That was a that was a
yeah,
familial
sure.
thing.
But like this one's more like how should I say this?
Toru comes out and says like no, like sexual love.
Is it like oh
so? It
Okay.
is.
This is, like,
she's
ridiculous.
Serious.
Oh, it's
she's
like-
serious about this
it's like
romance.
that shows up here, the other shows like down here.
Well, that was like Shonen Maid was about a family thing.
Yeah.
Like orphan kid goes to go live
Yeah,
with his
yeah.
uncle,
Mhm.
and that way different.
Yeah.
Okay.
Way different. Yeah. No, so and then Toru's dragon friends kind of start showing up and start causing problems.
Dragon friends.
Yeah. And there's like little bits of magic here and there, because obviously Toru is a dragon,
Mhm.
Right.
And she has magical powers, and then other dragons start, like I said, showing up and kind of causing problems for Kobayashi and her friends. And so
Ah.
it's very slice of life comedy, and I love it.
Nice.
All right.
And
When you said she gets into a drunken stupor, helps a dragon, and does not remember, I was like, that's an interesting premise.
I know.
Now I have to
I'll
watch.
have to check that out. Yeah, Miss
Yeah.
Kobayashi's Dragon Maid just doesn't scream, watch this for me.
no, I'd say absolutely watch it. It's
But-
hilarious.
okay.
It's cute.
Neither does Interviews with Monster Girls, to be honest.
That's no, yeah, my girlfriend had to tell me to watch that.
Yeah.
But Fuuka was just like, oh, hey, this is cool.
Yeah.
But anyway, nice.
Yeah, so I have a few more.
Yeah, you
The
have,
next one I'll do is my other full-length show, Gabriel Dropout.
Okay,
So this
good,
is-
not just me.
Yeah, no, this is supposed to be like the next Umaru kind of thing, because it's about a girl who kind of turns into a trash monster, and this girl happens to be an angel.
Yeah.
So she's an actual angel sent down to Earth.
Oh, like the Gabriel the angel?
Yeah.
Or-
Yeah, so
okay.
she's an angel, and she's supposed to be kind of like training to how to like help humans and kind of understand humans and Earth. And she finds an MMO and says, "Oh, I have to help these people." And so she becomes like a healer, and then over the course of like a week or whatever, she becomes like this huge trash monster that doesn't care about being an angel anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And it's funny, like there are really funny points, and like for some reason there's also like demons in training.
Yeah.
But they're not really that evil, and so it's kind of like there are sometimes they want to do an evil thing, but it's too evil. It's like that doesn't make any sense. You're a demon.
Yeah.
Too
Why
evil.
is that too evil?
Yeah. I like Satania or whatever her name is, but
Yeah.
I found the comedy weirdly hit or miss. Like it wasn't
Oh yeah, and
what
it was
I thought
also
gonna be.
very fan servicey. I mean, at least for the first episode, those things sometimes calm down after the first episode.
Yeah.
But like these are like high school girls, and angels or demons or whatever, they're still young.
Yeah.
And so it's like, really? The only one fan servicey thing that I thought was funny was Gabriel tries to teleport herself to her classroom because she's being lazy. She accidentally
yeah.
just teleports her underwear. It's real good. That's like the one bit, but otherwise it's a little like.
The one,
Okay.
let's just say the one girl who shows up at the end, you're like, okay, this is getting weird.
Yeah, so it's a little.
So no.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna probably watch another episode or two and see how I feel about it. But for right
Okay.
now, it's
Yeah.
not a thing you have to watch. I
Interesting.
Yeah, I
Okay.
thought as a huge Umaru trash monster fan, I was gonna be I was so excited, and then I was like, it's okay.
think she's not the trash monster I want.
Yeah, I want my sweet lovable trash monster, not an actual trash
Like she
monster.
can be a brat sometimes, but this one's just
Okay.
anyway.
We'll see.
So another peculiar anime I'm watching is OneRoom, brought to you by the people who made Makura no Danchi. If you don't remember that, we used to have Makura no Mondays. We talked about our creepy boys who
So creepy.
wanted to tie you up and
just or break into your home and hiss at your cat.
Yeah.
That was one.
Anyway, so yeah, this if you don't know, the studio does essentially like adaptations of mobile games where like a guy is talking to you, or like these are mostly prominent in Japan. Like there's a few available here, and they're a little bit more rare to get. I think there's like an Asuna one from Sword Art Online on the Google Play Store, I think.
Of course.
Anyway, so it's like an anime character talks to you, and it's like first person, like, oh, have a good night kind of thing. And so it's supposed to put you in the perspective of the protagonist, which is weird for anime. And so OneRoom is where I think there's like 3 separate girls as opposed to a different girl every episode. Like Makoto no Danchi was a different boy every episode. And just different scenarios. So the first episode that I watched was like this girl moves in and she needs help studying. And so like there's very much, you're looking at her breasts, like, because you're in the perspective of this person who wants to, you know,
Get
like
like
this girl. Yeah, it's like, but yeah, she's like in high school. I think your character is supposed to be in college and stuff, or like in college, and she's getting ready to go to college. So it's weird. I think
in the proud tradition of Makoto no Danchi.
Yeah, so it's just interesting to see what's different between those, like what they find or think the viewer thinks is attractive. Like Makoto no Danchi was scary.
It was super creepy.
Like, call the police scary.
Yeah, no joke.
And then this one's like, you're kind of being a creepy person a little bit.
Yeah, now you're the creep.
Yeah, you're the creep now a little bit. But, yeah. It's just,
so I'm going to feel uncomfortable if I watch this, pretty much.
I watched it at the gym, so whatever.
Are they still like 2-minute just little
they're like 5 minutes or something. I forget exactly. So it's just like a weird thing if you just
a little short.
want to check out the male gaze.
Sure.
I don't know.
Because you don't get enough of that in anime.
Oh, yeah. Definitely not.
The male gaze.
So there's another cute short that I'm watching. I actually just binged before I came in here. Piacevole is a short about a Italian restaurant. Ooh. And this girl, I think it's based on a manga. It has a bunch of like just like short chapters and stuff. And this high school girl wants to get a job. She finds this really cute little Italian restaurant, goes in, and it's like, I want the part-time job. And this little kid just gives her the hardest time. And is like drilling her about French cuisine and like about reading French and stuff. It's like, well, if you can't read this, you don't belong here.
Wow. And then, drama queen.
Yeah, and then the co-manager comes out and it's like, oh, sorry, he's the owner's son. Just, yeah. But he's like a kind of like a prodigy within like Italian cuisine and stuff. So he gets away with stuff, and he's like gets really shy around her and gets angry. So he's like a tsundere, but a little boy. And he's like in middle school. It's cute. And so she's just like, and it's like really cute. So if you liked the food aspect of like Food Wars or something, like, this is a really cute show you might like, and especially about like Italian cuisine because they feature one food each week. And kind of how they make it a little bit, and like a character involved with that. So like the second episode involved like the head chef, and he's like real weird. Like, so everybody in this restaurant's really weird. So they're eccentric, and it was just a really fun show. And I think the ending songs were cute too.
So is the food like Food Wars status where it looks really good that you want to cook it and stuff, or?
They have actual pictures of real food in the end.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
okay.
I'm hungry.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the food itself and the animation's good, but not like top tier.
Okay.
But I'd still recommend it.
So if I'm a fan of Wakako Zake, I can
like that too. So if you just
one.
like food anime, I'd recommend it. It's like 4 minutes long.
So. Oh, very nice.
It's cute.
It's bite size. Hey. All right, and on that note.
Good.
So that's I think all I got right now.
Yeah. Until next week.
Good shape. Yeah. I mean, gosh, we got so much to do already. And with that, I think we're gonna get to our watch party.
Yes, which means I have to jump out, guys. But thank you so much for watching. Please support my Tales of Berseria review. You can go find out what the score is on IGN.com. Let me know what you think. And you can reach me at Megan, MEGHAN_IGN on Twitter. And I will see you guys later. Bye.
Bye, Megan.
Bye.
Anime.
I really want to watch Scum's Wish.
Really want
Which
to watch
one?
what?
Scum's Wish, but it's on Anime Strike. But
What is that about?
Again, Anime Strike.
sorry, we're supposed to do watch party. That I was like, I forgot to mention
Scum's
this.
Wish.
To like wish list things for next week. Scum's
Okay.
Wish is about two, I guess, good-looking students who get in a relationship together because they can't be with the people that they want to be with. And it's like,
Oh, yeah. I think I remember reading about that.
That's kind of an interesting premise.
Yeah, so I really want to see that. So hopefully I can get access to Anime Strike by the time. Come around next week.
Oh, yeah. There's going to be a lot to talk about next week.
Yeah, so guys, let us know what you guys are watching and what we should be watching if there's anything we're missing, especially. Obviously, we're going to catch up on a bunch of stuff by next week. But is there something in particular you want us to watch? Let us know. You can do that on our Facebook group, which is facebook.com/group/IGN Club. On Twitter, you can reach us all at the top of the show. If you watch the video, we have all our Twitter handles. We'll talk about it at the end. And you can also email us at IGN_animeclub@IGN.com.
Yes.
So many things.
You need a power
I still
strip
don't
with
remember
all
any
those
of that.
plugs
I know.
that you
I'm
got.
just like,
Just put like a little
this needs to be
prompter here.
split up between me and somebody else.
Yeah.
No, it's not. Kelly.
I'll have to work on it. Oh, it's the ghost of Kelly.
Yeah, no, since Megan left, this is not Kelly's ghost chair.
Murder.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah.
Watch
Watch party.
Let's go ahead and jump into our watch party. This week, we are talking about episodes 9 and 10 of Kids on the Slope.
Yeah.
If you haven't joined us for the watch party before, what we do is each week we talk about 2 episodes of a show chosen by you guys. We dig into some reader comments. We really dig into the shows. It's important for us to like analyze and talk about our feelings.
Oh, yeah.
Because we get emotional.
Especially this show.
Yeah. But before we begin, I want to say that next week is our last 2 episodes for the show.
Yep.
So
I was wrong. It's not 24 episodes. It's 12 episodes.
12
I
episodes.
remember you told me that. I
I
was
know.
like, what?
My bad.
Yeah, so that means we have to vote for our next watch party.
Yeah.
So if you're watching this, if you want to participate in the watch party, please go to the article page for this episode. So just Google search IGN Anime Club episode 78 and go to the IGN page and you can vote for our next watch party and then we'll announce the winners next episode. So, or the winner, excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, and it'll be our commitment for several weeks. So
Oh, yeah.
choose wisely.
Yes.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and jump into Kids on the Slope, episode 9.
Episode 9.
Love Me or Leave Me.
Okay.
Aww.
Should we read the synopsis first before we
Yeah.
get into it?
Go.
All right, so for episode 9, Love Me or Leave Me. Brother June is leaving town for good, but will he do it without saying goodbye? Sen still hasn't forgiven him about Eureka. Meanwhile, Eureka's parents forbid her to see Junichi and pressure her to marry someone else. And will Ritsuko be able to let Karo know how she feels about him, or will she let him go quietly, as she did with Sen? Dun dun dun.
I just want to jump
That was a weird synopsis.
straight to it.
Okay,
I
go for it.
loved the resolution with June and Eureka. It's
Yeah.
so sweet. I just want to like cry as Eureka go.
Go to him.
And she only figured out like because she was talking with Ritsuko and she got
Oh, yeah.
her power back. She's like,
It must be a small town. They just run to each other like conveniently.
Yeah.
But yes, that was. I thought it was, and it was when she was looking for the yarn ball, too. So they were both kind of going
trying
to their
figure
men.
stuff out. Yeah, they're trying to get their men in line.
Yeah.
And just figure it out.
Yeah, no, that scene. And that was the train scene was in episode 9, right? I can't remember. Right?
I feel like episode 9 ended with the train scene.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
It did, and it was beautiful.
Oh yeah.
That was my favorite part of the episode.
Yeah, especially when the parents are coming,
Yeah.
like yelling for her, and then she's crying. And,
It's like I'll just go
And
back
he's
to my
like,
own life.
I know, right?
And her own life is getting married off to some guy. It's just like
That was cool.
sparks his true feelings.
Just like, June, abduct her. Do
Yeah.
it.
Of course, it's when the doors close and the train's about to leave that he figures it out.
Well, I get it. Like he's going to a very
Yeah.
risky situation, and he doesn't.
Sure.
She's still in school. He doesn't want to drag her into that.
Yeah.
And she's got to finish up, and he's just like,
Yeah, but she has snow.
gotta get her out of that.
Yeah.
It's like sometimes the person you love like is trying to do the thing what they think is right for you
Yep,
when it may not be
mhm.
what they think is right for them. So
I've seen that so many times.
and then they
It's
figured it out.
close to home.
Yeah. So Neil Del Toro, excellent commentator and
Yes.
freaking watch party member,
Mhm.
says, Christmas time. Synonymous with eloping, jazz battles, and teenage mitten-related drama. Dysfunctional relationships are in the air.
Yep.
Yeah.
Kids on the slope.
The episode starts with June finally getting a handle on his life by means of fighting the power through a publishing company one of his friends is starting. And of course, this means he'll be leaving Kyushu and never coming back, which immediately turned him into the driving force in this episode. But instead of going through the regular sappy fest, we get probably one of the most epic goodbyes in anime history, courtesy of Sentaro and June having jazz off in the basement of the music store. Sincerest of apologies is apparently the one that is conveyed through music, as evidenced by Sentaro's indifferences turning into, I'll remember this session for the rest of my life. Okay, maybe just a bit of sackiness. Which is another thing that we kind of like skipped over because like everything else is so great in this episode.
Yeah. I totally forgot about that. Yeah, no, that I love how I'm glad they did that way because that's the only way they could have done it is have a jam session.
Yeah.
And it was interesting seeing Ritsuko's father and Kaoru just like playing along, trying to catch up with them, and then finally understanding like this is not a quartet, this is a duel.
This is not a typical jam session.
Yeah, I loved how Kaoru was like, "You have to go," and Sartara was like, "Stop!" Like, I have my own plan. And Kaoru, like when Jun comes down the stairs, is like, "Gonna duel," and he's just like, "Oh no!" And then Mitsuko's dad comes in, he's like, "I'm in." And he's like, "What?"
I can't catch it.
But it's like,
yeah,
this is the right kind of duel.
that was cool. I like that a lot.
And then continue on from Totoro. And since it's Christmas, we couldn't end the episode on a sad note. We needed a Christmas miracle, which we totally got when one dumpster scarf magically turned into a pair of purple mittens for the boy with the jazziest hands. And also, when true, albeit illegal-ish, love triumphed. Actually, I don't know if it's illegal, because if she's over 16, I'm almost certain they're...
Back then?
Well, actually, even then, it's probably even
it's
lower.
probably like, yeah.
I have no idea what it is. So we don't know if it's illegal. Love triumphed in the end, and he was just dropped out of school, so like the age difference isn't wildly scary or anything. And she's, I think, a third year in high school, which is the last year in high school for them. So anyway,
he's not that old.
and thus, even when the title of the episode was "Love Me or Leave Me," implying it was either or situation, and then everyone's actions turned it into a why not both one, and that Charlie Brown is what Christmas is all about.
that was good. Thank you for that, Netta.
I mean, the albeit illegal-ish could also be referring to the fact that he took her away from her parents.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was consensual.
It was consensual, but she also ran away. So I don't.
Is running away illegal?
I don't really know what the. I don't know the law at this time in Japan.
Yeah.
I don't know.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
But anyway.
One way or another, there's some things that probably shouldn't
Definitely,
have happened.
right.
But
look, they're frowned upon.
they're so happy they eloped.
Yes.
Because they
that's it.
deserved it and they can be happy.
Exactly.
She cut her hair for him. She just loves him so much.
That's right. And he's gonna give her a haircut too when he get back to the city, or him a haircut. Yeah. Anyway.
I was just gonna say.
All right. Well,
I don't know if that's what they were talking about, guys.
I was not thinking about that until you went.
She just mentioned previously, like, why don't you do anything but kiss me? Why don't you touch
that's
me?
true.
It's like,
That's true. Yeah.
I just love how like the thing that happens is like when I get off of this train, you're gonna cut my hair.
It's like, yeah, like, when
Yeah.
we
Right.
it's like, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
The other things too. Anyway.
Austin Bartrell says, I noticed that when Junichi stated that he couldn't bring Yurika to Tokyo because she was in high school, her eyebrows lowered and her head bowed. This small detail in character animation was much appreciated, and it showed how despite Yurika's attempts to break out of the confines of her student life and become an adult, Junichi didn't see her as one at that point.
It's a good point. I mean, like, yeah, it's hard to see, like, as mature as some may be, like, high school students are not, like, out of that realm yet. Like, you still have so much growth. And, like, where even just, like, a few years in that age gap between Junichi and Yurika, like, there's so much difference in life that you experience and that fundamentally changes you as an adult and shapes you. So I can see why he was a little, like, no, it's for the best.
Yeah. Also, I mean, June, like, based off his experiences and not having dropped out of school and, like, just going through this pretty depressing period of his life, he doesn't want her to go through that. And that's what he thinks might happen if she goes with her or him. So I can see why it was hard for him to like be like, accept her and push her away instead. But yeah, it's just one crying, cute girl is enough to break his heart.
I think when her parents ran up and he knew what going back to her life meant was when he realized that him leaving her was not.
It was mostly her. Yeah. But anyway, that was.
I think because he cared about her so much, that's why he wanted to leave her. He wanted what was best for her, but he didn't listen to what she wanted for herself, which is a problem in a lot of relationships.
Hell yeah.
By the way.
Yeah, for sure.
But he's feeling guilt because he thinks that, taking her away from that would put her at a disadvantage. But it's okay because it worked out. You're so cute.
Relationships.
Except in the next episode, and now it's a scandal.
Yeah, right. All right. So episode 10. There we go. I think I might just skip the synopsis since Neto, I think, does a good job of explaining here. So thanks to Centaur's younger sisters, hyperactive bladder, we get a heart-to-heart between Richan and Kaoru. At the bathroom, because that's just screams privacy. The conversation quickly reaches a stalemate, though, since Kaoru can't escape the bathtub while Ritsuko is there, and she can't escape Kaoru's inquiry about the gloves either. And even when she gets to walk away, the feeling of being stuck remains, to the point of clouding his judgment and self-preservation skills. As a result of busting out of Sentaro's house with wet hair into a cold night, he gets some days off from school to lick his wounds, and apparently to get his head straight.
So,
can we say that? Oh, wait, no, sorry.
That's fine.
Yeah, you were saying.
But I just want to burst in and say, how do anime kids get sick so fast? Like,
That's true.
if a person in anime sneezes, they're sick. I say, what?
That's true, but
How's
also it was back in the day when medicine wasn't fully developed. No, well, that's a good point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's just like you went outside with your. It's kind of cool, but.
Yeah. Well, I mean, with this show, they do a lot of like time jumps, so maybe it wasn't just the next day. Maybe it was just like, maybe it was realistically like a week later.
Who knows? Yeah, they do a lot of time jumps, which I appreciate.
But he got sick real bad.
Yeah,
Oh my
just
God.
like, dang, man, dry your hair next time.
Yeah, that was dumb. It was so obvious too when he ran away after taking a shower. I was like, he's gonna get sick. Yeah. So he because this time his words finally got through to Richan and to anyone in hearing distance. But of course, kisses in this show can only be either awkward or non-existent. And Kaoru's fever got in the way of happiness, which is paradoxical.
Paradoxical.
Oh man, I said that really weird. For a teenager, but that's none of my business. The takeaway from this is that that regardless of what Richan might have said to Kaoru in the moment, nothing spoke louder than her YOLO attitude about getting the flu.
YOLO!
Yeah, that was really ballsy with Kaoru to just like chase after her.
So I was getting a little annoyed with their relationship because it was getting to the point where it extended to be like a little too long. Like I totally get the he said, she said, like do they accept my feelings? I don't know.
Yep.
But it's just like so tropey in anime that like the characters don't get together till at least the very, very end, or at least talk about their feelings.
Yeah.
That it was getting a little bit frustrating, especially because we had such a great resolution in the previous episode.
Yeah, and he's been doing it the whole series.
Yes,
So, like,
exactly.
yeah.
So I was just like, oh my gosh, you guys were
get
just say it.
Oh,
Kaoru
He's in
drives
the
me
corner.
crazy.
He's in up top. Just talk to them.
I totally forgot too. This was episode 9, but when Sentaro had a powwow with Ritsuko in the store, that was like, go ahead.
That was so good.
Yeah.
I really like that scene. Like just the fact that Sen approached her and he didn't want to tell her that he didn't have feelings for her, but he knew that he needed to make that clear.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh my God, Sen, why aren't you in every anime?
Yeah, sometimes it's so good.
Yeah, he really is.
But what saved that for me and kept me from being like bored with it was how Kaoru like expressed his feelings for her, and like how that all broke down when he had the flu or the cold, and she came in and was like, if you can't believe in yourself, like I don't know if I can be confident in this either, which is totally fair. Like if you can't be confident in a relationship, then why should the other person be?
Yeah. But why does the guy have to do it? No, okay.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point too. It's like she could have.
She could have said
I mean,
something.
she gave him the mittens, was like really about it, and I'm like just
high school.
different. Yeah, high school. That's exactly the thing, right? It's like high school.
I mean, it's still a thing, to be honest.
I mean, I guess maybe she also wasn't clear on whether or not
She was always Sentaro.
he wanted to be with her because she had rejected him in the past, and I could see it as like, hey, I don't want to make the first move because
Don't want to get hurt again.
Yeah.
I don't want to, I guess, disrespect that I hurt you in the past. Like it has to be something that he wants again, not because she rejected him previously.
Yeah.
Right.
I think that's a big thing that does make a difference. But then it was so cute when he just went out there shouting. She's like, oh.
I know, right?
So,
He's all like collapsing down the stairway.
So it felt like all that built up emotion that has been occurring through the entire series is let out, and it's satisfying.
Finally.
So I was like, oh yes.
And of course he passes out.
Good job. Yeah, it's like,
Can't finish the job, Kaoru.
take it easy. So Tyler DeBoer, also avid writer for the Watch Party, says, still on the slope and 10 episodes in and still no skiing.
Yep.
Tyler would be angry. Finally, it's out between Kaoru and Ritsuko, but it's still not moving forward much. On Sentaro front, his father is coming back. Another huge point.
Yep.
Jesus.
Though the N shows that Sentaro's words he told Kaoru were lies, so what possibilities will come as we move on to the final week of the Kids on the Slope watch party?
Find out next time on
Yeah.
Kids on the Slope.
That was really hard not to watch the next episode after that.
I know. I was just like,
Like,
he's leaving.
yeah, I mean, because it's weird because, you know, her younger sister, he tells her that everything's going to be okay and convinces her that, you know, that it'll be fine. And then he goes and does this. And I'm like, wait, so isn't everything not going to be fine? Or is it just him personally doesn't want to be in the same room with him? Or
yeah, just maybe because he thinks. So I don't think he's one to run away. I think his reasoning is maybe because he thinks his presence there would make things worse for the other kids.
Yeah, that's my opinion too.
So.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then he lied to Kaoru too about it, right? Kaoru?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're gonna play in the festival together.
Where is he going?
Yeah, there's also an element of it, like, I don't want to believe that Sen is cowardly and doesn't want to
Yeah.
face his problems. There has to be.
For a second,
he's looking out for someone else, right? Right?
For a second, I thought he was just going to, like, leave and just go join the military.
Oh man.
Like, yeah, I was like, whoa. But yeah, I really don't know what's going to happen from here on out. Honestly, I think, yeah, it just doesn't make any sense. Like, I need to watch episode 10. Nope, 11.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Last 2 episodes. So I guess we will see what happens.
Okay. I'll do that.
Yeah. So, guys, be sure to go to the article page for this episode. Just, like I said, Google search IGN Anime Club episode 78 to vote for the next watch party. Your votes very much matter because whichever show wins is what we're watching next. So it's up to you guys.
Our fate is in your hands.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there's only there's going to be one poll, and that will be on
Yes,
IGN.
it will only be on there. So you
Yep.
can't vote in the Facebook group. You can't vote on Twitter or somewhere else. It is only in the article. So
Yes.
please go and vote.
Okay.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
guess that brings us to the end of our watch party for the
Yeah.
episode.
Yay, we did it.
Yay!
Yay, anime.
Yay, anime.
Yay,
I
anime.
just felt like yelling that out. Thank you guys so much for joining us this week. I'm at Havoc Grows on Twitter.
I'm at XPM&Ms.
I'm at Jurassic Rabbit.
Thank you for joining us again.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
And
Thanks for having
be sure to check out my opinion piece on IGN. It's about why Amazon and Netflix don't understand anime fans. You can find that on my Twitter.
Yes.
And many other places. You guys working on anything you want to shout out before we go?
If you're playing Duel Links, my ID.
Oh,
Actually, my
save that for
Twitter
next
my Twitter my Twitter handle is my Duel Links account. So if you want to duel, bring it on. But also
Still to do.
on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/anime club. C/anime club. Yeah, let us know in the comments. What do you want to see? I think we've wanted to do. We tried doing Let's Plays, and we'll probably want to do that again. We want to do other stuff too. So if you're interested in seeing some other content from us, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can find. So I'm the live stream producer at IGN. So yeah, check out twitch.tv/IGN. Sometimes we have Miranda. She played Gravity Rush 2 for us on
Yeah.
IGN Plays Live.
I also reviewed that.
Yeah,
Yes.
She also reviewed it.
Check out that review.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think me and Mike are gonna do some Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm Road to Boruto when it comes out. So that's gonna be fun. And yeah, we stream from 1 to 3 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So check it out.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yay.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining us this week, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.